Hello everyone, and welcome back to Soccer Unboxing. So welcome to my August figure haul. I'm almost caught up on haul videos, so let's keep the intro short, and without further ado, let us get into what I picked up from those 2 months. So starting off, we have some Nendoroid doll outfits. I do want to start collecting these. Some designs more than others, but I do like these outfits designs in particular. And it's just nice to have some extra clothing to display with my Nendoroid dolls, just to give them some options. And yeah, definitely looking forward to see what other designs they come up with in the future. Now we're moving on to the last item, which is actually supposed to be an art book, but I'll show off the little acrylic standees that came with this. I got the more expensive version of this art book, and this is supposed to be the Elf Village Memorial Notes art book, I believe. Basically, it's a art book that compiles all of the elf girls that have been made into figures, and they're all manufactured by Vertex, I believe. I really like the character designs, but I'm not super into elf girls, so I thought I'd just pick up the art book to just appreciate these character designs and not have to shell out hundreds of dollars just to collect all of these girls. I believe in the aftermarket, some of them have gone down quite a bit, which I think is pretty good if you're looking to pick these up. And yeah, so it basically shows off all of the current figures of these characters that are out. And some of them you can display them with all their clothing, or just some of them. Some of them I think are also a little bit not safe for work. I didn't really know any of the artists before, except for Asanagi, who did this character right here, Priscilla, I think her name is. I could definitely tell from the eyes and such. And yeah, I just, picked this one up. I think it was about 30 bucks for the book, plus the getting the acrylic standees. You could buy the book by itself, but I thought I'd just shell out the little bit of extra money for the standees as well. And yeah, so I like how it has the concepts for the characters, and just, the full illustration, as well as some, nice other artworks of the characters, which I do like to see. And yeah, so some of these a little bit not safe for work, I think. Might be just the Asanagi ones, but I'm not 100% sure. Also at the end of this, there's also some very cute little mini comics, and also just to show off the prototypes of the figures, as well as the other characters who will be made in the future. So yeah, very nice high quality art book overall, and glad to just have it in my collection. So now we're moving on to some scale figures that I picked up. So we're starting off with the Korose Riku 1/8 scale figure by Freeing. So this is of course from 10 count. And yeah, I pretty much picked him up to go with Shirotani. So this is a re-release of a figure that was quite expensive in the aftermarket, just because of course it's 10 count, and those figures are crazy in the aftermarket. And yeah, pretty standard box. I do like how nice and small it is though. It won't take up too much room in terms of storage. And I'd say just the right size for the figure, so I'm gonna pick him up right now. So here he is. I do like how he looks overall. Again, quite small though, because he is a 1/8. Probably would have been a lot more expensive if he was a 1/7. And yeah, I'm trying to get a good look at him, but I do like the overall sculpt work on him. Like, his abs are just... love seeing some nice abs on a male character. And he does have some different finishes to him, like his shoes are quite glossy, his pants are matte, and even the little bow tie is glossy. And yeah, so he's got the riding crop in his hand. A little scandalous, but yeah, overall I'm quite happy with this figure. He did get delayed, I believe, twice, which was kind of surprising. I did not expect him to get delayed like quite often. Additionally, I noticed that on the back of his tux, maybe it's because I accidentally backed him up into like the wall, like his finish is a little bit shiny in one area. That might have been my fault. And maybe I wish there was like a little bit more shading to maybe his abs a little bit. But I do like the overall sculpt of the figure, and quite nice to have the two of them together. Again, this is like one of very few 10 count figures besides the Nendoroids in the very expensive native scale, but I'm quite happy to settle with these two kind of sexy bunny outfit versions of these two characters. So now we're moving on to this massive sort of clear figure box right here, and this is the Azur Lane Chowho 1/7 figure by Neon Max. So I got this to go, of course, with her sister figure, also made by Neon Max. So I'm gonna try my best to show this box off because it is quite the reflective box, but I do like the design overall, especially with the details and the clear plastic colored parts. I don't know, I quite dig that with this box, but this box is no joke massive for, you know, of course, the parts that she comes with. And I actually did put this one on Surface. I forgot when exactly she came out. Okay. She came out in August, and so yeah, I ended up putting this one on a boat because I believe the cost for this was around 100 USD. It was like, I think 13,000 yen. Anyway, very expensive. I'm like, I don't really want to pay that shipping, so I threw her on Surface. I didn't mind waiting for this one. And I got her, and I assembled her, and, you know, I'm quite excited to have her next to her sister, so I'll pick up that lovely figure now. So yes, I do kind of have to be careful when I hold her in my hand. She has this massive fan, but Neon Max, once again, their figures are fantastic so far. I only have, again, her sister figure as my other Neon Max figure, but I'm overall impressed with their quality and sculpt work, and this one is no exception. I love the way the outfit looks, how glossy that red is. It's a very nice shade of red. Her multicolored hair looks fantastic. The gold detail is very well painted overall, as well as the details and I guess decals on her outfit. The fan is like fantastic. I really love the little details on it and like the writing that they put on the fan. Very crisp and clean. Nothing looks too off with that. And yeah, I think it's a pretty well done figure. I feel like some people might complain about the base, but I feel like I'm not too bothered by it because I feel like if you did make a sort of, you know, more complicated base, I feel like it would take away from the figure in this case, so I'm not too bothered by it. And yeah, just like also the silver details, her weaponry, very nicely sculpted. And I'm overall just very happy with this purchase. I think she looks fantastic for, I believe, under 200 USD, granted, without that crazy shipping. I feel like she's, like, worth it, if you don't mind putting her on Surface. And yeah, she just looks gorgeous. Additionally, I also forgot to mention that the fan does have some, like, wood details to it, which I think is a very nice touch. So the only main thing that I struggled with this figure was putting the fan in her hand. You do kind of have to, like, bend it around some areas. It's very tricky, and I was scared I was going to break it. But just take your time, and, you know, it should go in, and it's a pretty snug fit. This also came with a support rod, which isn't too intrusive, I feel like, because the fan blocks it pretty well. So you kind of tuck it in one of the parts of the fan, and it's supposed to kind of support the figure. Which I do plan on, you know, having her with that support rod just in case, you know, if anything were to happen. But yeah, Neon Max, once again, they've blown me out of the water a little bit with their quality so far. I'm excited to get more figures for them. I have also, you know, the Kosaka Wakamo that's also made by them, so I'm very excited for her because I love her design. And I'm hoping that the quality on that one is just as great as this Chowho figure right here. Now we're moving on to a figure by, of course, another top tier figure manufacturer, and this is, of course, by My Ethos. This is the National Treasure Pearl Pillar of the Buddhist Shrine 1/7 figure. And, okay, clear box once again, but I really love all of the little details on there. Yeah, again, I love My Ethos box design. They tend to go for clear plastic for the most part. I feel like there might be some exceptions to this rule. But yeah, I overall really like the design for this box. And bottom. So yeah, I saw her design and it was like instant pre-order for me because I thought she looked absolutely gorgeous and you cannot beat that My Ethos price. So yeah, this is part of their it says nation's greatest treasures on there. So yeah, this is based off an historical object, and they kind of just personify the national treasure into a very gorgeous looking anime girl. So yeah, I was very excited for this one. I think it got delayed by a month, but she was worth the wait at the end of the day. So yes, here she is, and I am just, again, blown away by Maithos's quality and details. There's like nothing wrong with this figure overall in terms of paintwork. They really take some nice time and dedication to making sure that these figures are fantastic for the price point that you are getting. Yeah, just the details, the sculpt work, like on her hair, and just these tiny, tiny little details just make this figure really stand out. I like the sort of glittery gold detail she has on her dress, and I, again, lost for words from my ethos. They just do a fantastic job. The base has some nice shading to it, and even like the gold details on there, very crisp and clean. I'm interested about if the little pearls around her base are like hollow on the inside. I feel like this figure looks super fragile, and it makes me quite nervous if I were to drop her, if I would accidentally break one of those pearls on her base. So that's just something to be careful with. I feel like there's some just delicate areas on this figure. So yeah, really the only assembly for this figure are the two little dangly pieces that kind of hook onto her outfit. It's not too hard overall. They do definitely wiggle a bit, so definitely don't toss this figure around. But those are very gorgeous. I really like the orange and the blue color that they used for that. So yes, nothing but praise for my ethos once again. And this series of figures is fantastic overall. And yeah, so I highly recommend picking this one up. Absolutely gorgeous. You will not regret your purchase from my ethos, especially for the price tag. Right now it's saying on my figure collection 18,000 yen, which is 118 USD at the moment with how the yen is. I'm not too sure about shipping by itself, but definitely a worth it pickup overall. So now moving on to my first Apex figure, and that is the Genshin Impact Zhao 1/7 Guardian Yaksha version. So I love Zhao's design, and this figure looks super impressive. And yeah, very nice box. I do like the green that they use. Now note, I have not played Genshin Impact at all. I just bought this for the, of course, character design. Yeah, because he looks absolutely fantastic. I do like these sort of glossy details as well on this box. Very nice. Yeah, kind of big overall, granted with what he has. This also came with a little bonus as well. So yes, if you order this of Ami like I did, it came with a bonus clear poster of Zhao, which looks, again, fantastic. The art style is absolutely gorgeous, as well as the print quality on this. It's kind of a weird like little shape to it, so I'm not sure how I would display this, or if I, put it in one of my folders just to have in there, but nice little bonus to have with the figure. So yes, here he is in all of his glory. I have to be careful because these spears could poke my eye out. But overall, for my first Apex figure, I am very impressed with the quality and detail on him. I don't notice really any paint defects, and the decal to like his arm, I guess it's a tattoo. I'm not too familiar with his character, but very well applied to his body. His face, his eyes look absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, the sculpt work I really do like overall, and his little details. I like, the mix of materials, like you have some translucent areas, and the mask, very nice glossiness to it, as well as paintwork. So yeah, this is excellent, I feel. Like, really in terms of paint, I really don't notice anything off, and he came out looking fantastic. So now I do unfortunately have some nitpicks with this figure. So the first thing is that pretty much like all of the spears that come out of this base, except for the one in the front and the one in the back, they are already like attached to the base, which I'm not the biggest fan of, especially because, you know, God forbid, the box tumbles or anything while he's being shipped or something happens. I feel like these spears could break off, so I would have rather have them be separate pieces to put on the base itself. And there really wasn't any like very big protective packaging with these spears, so that's also something to be careful with, because, you know, it could break. They're also quite sharp, so I definitely would be careful with that. I guess the other thing is his foot doesn't really go in all the way to the base. It's a very tight fit overall. Doesn't really bother me too much. So yeah, the last thing also is that the instructions to put this guy together, not the best in the world, and I feel like that's the first time I've experienced like not the best instructions. So yeah, there's like a completely different order. So yeah, instructions just not the best in the world, or not the best order to put the figure together in. But you know, other than that, I think he turned out great. I guess the other thing that unfortunately happened when I was assembling this figure was putting the spear in. It was kind of a tight fit, and I did unfortunately end up, not so much breaking, but like bending one of these like green clear pieces, which look fantastic, but if you bend it, you're going to be left with a very ugly, like white line, and yeah, that sucked. You can't really tell at a distance, obviously, but up close, it's there. It's a little bit annoying. It's a little unfortunate that happened, and I was trying to be very careful. So yeah, you just have to watch out for certain areas on this figure because you could discolor them. But overall, very happy with this figure of him. So yeah, for my first Apex figure, I think he looks excellent. So I'm excited to get more figures from him in the future. I believe the Chen Ageless Afterglow version is by them, so very excited to pick her up because I am really liking the quality so far for these figures. So now we have this last figure, which I was very excited for, very anticipated for, and I got earlier than I thought I would considering where I bought him from, and that is the Fate Grand Order Archer Gilgamesh 1/8 figure by Alter for their Altair line of figures, which, you know, just mostly consist of male characters, but Gil was looking fine as hell. I wanted a Gilgamesh figure, and this one really stood out to me the most. Of course, I did a review of him, which I haven't uploaded to the channel yet, as the time I'm recording this video, but that'll give you a better idea of just his overall, you know, quality and such. But Alter, again, top tier figure manufacturer. I really love the work that they put out, and I feel like this Gilgamesh is no exception. So yeah, I'm gonna end up picking him up right off my shelf. So yes, here is Gilgamesh, and like again, blown away by Alter's quality overall. I think he looks absolutely gorgeous and very crisp and clean in terms of paintwork and sculpt. Yeah, he just looks absolutely glorious overall. I really like the shading, the flow of everything. Some people think the chain is a little bit kind of random and such, and you know, I can agree to that to an extent. I mean, it doesn't look too bad at a distance, and the gold on his outfit is like fantastic. There are a couple of sharp points on this figure, so definitely be careful with that. And kind of when you get to certain points, like the sculpt for the chain is different in some areas, which might bother some people. It doesn't really bother me too much. Assembly-wise, it's really easy. Like, you just put him on the base, and it's very easy to attach the chain. Also, really not that bad. And yeah. And I do kind of like the base as well. It's, you know, it's kind of like plain and simple. But I do kind of like the dry brushing they did with the blue. It looks very nice, and I think it's metallic as well. Looks very cool overall. So yes, and we cannot forget about those abs, that body that he has, and it's fantastic. Like the sculpt work, it's got some nice shading and definition to him. It looks great, as well as his head. Looks so confident. I love it so much. So yes, overall, super duper impressed with this Gilgamesh figure. Definitely my definitive one of him in my collection. Is he one of my top favorite big characters? He's definitely, I feel like he might be my top 10, but again, I have like other guys I like. So yes, I'm very excited for more Fate male characters to be made to figures. Very impressed again with Alter's quality overall. So yes, now the last figure I have right here is a binding bunny. Once again, this is the Allison Fincher 1/4 painted figure. And so far with this box, it's probably going to be hard to see. I really like the design on it, actually. I like the purple, I like the pink, I like the sort of pool, what do you call it, pool balls that they have on there? Yeah, box looks great overall. And yeah, probably won't show the bottom either, but there's the design right there, if you guys can see. But yeah, kind of a sort of casino or like pool theme for this one. So yeah, this figure I feel like was a little bit controversial once she released in terms of quality control and such, which kind of sucks. And this was when I was like contemplating canceling, but you know, I had like mixed feelings. I'm like, oh, you know, I ended up paying for it anyway since, you know, she is here. And yeah, like I'm looking at a whole bunch of things, and some people have mixed opinions on it for reasons I'll get into later, so I'll pick her up right now. So yes, here she is in my hand, and overall I think she's pretty good. I don't think mine came out awful or anything. I feel like a lot of people were kind of complaining about the hair on this figure. It does have some translucentness to it. And additionally, some people felt like it looked pretty cheap overall, which I can kind of agree with. It's not really the sharpest in terms of sculpt, and you know, it does kind of like transition a little bit from like purple to like clear. But maybe it would have been nicer for them just to do like, you know, regular like solid colored hair and just do like a gradient there. And body sculpt, I will admit, with this one is fantastic. I do like the pose that she kind of has. And yeah, she has nice little details like the little hearts all around her outfit, as well as the choker and the little rose in her hair. And I do kind of like the bunny ears as well. I do like the shading done on the inside as well as the outside. Now, I did notice this now because, yeah, her outfit is like a little bit tricky to put together. Unfortunately, I literally moved her off the shelf and the one peg came out that holds her outfit together, which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like how I have to like struggle to like stretch figure pieces to kind of have them fit. So that's just a little bit of an annoying thing. Other than that, like, again, not my favorite binding design at the end of the day, but not absolutely hideous. But some people have been kind of complaining about binding's quality control over time. So I really hope that they kind of take like comments and like, you know, improve their figures a little bit more in the future, because I would like to see them, you know, have great quality figures overall, because then that encourages me to want to pick them up and not have to worry about getting a, you know, a ugly looking figure for the price that I paid. So hello everyone, this is Editing Sakura here, and I am doing a voiceover for the outro for my August haul, because originally I did have my August and September haul video recorded in one day. It was stressful, and needless to say, I just want to split them up into 2 parts. So yeah, I just kind of want to split them up into 2 separate parts, just to keep it like under 30 minutes relatively, because, you know, I am pretty long-winded. So let me know what your favorite figures or merch pickups that I had in the comments below. And if you would like to, of course, feel free to take the time to subscribe to my channel to see what other figure and merch related shenanigans I get into next. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you'll have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night wherever you are, and take it easy. Goodbye.